The most extraordinary thing happened at the Cannes Film Festival.
It was all to do with the Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson, of course, who I have to say looked fabulous. But she was giving some speech, and I think it was in aid of a charity, particularly. But she stood in front of this great crowd of people. And as I was saying earlier, they're all the sort of people from the entertainment industry who want to be seen and were obviously there to have a good time. Well, this is how it went down. Basically, she couldn't shush them.
Everyone in this room, stop. 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 Did you see? I removed the microphone. Because all of you are saying, oh, I want to go, because where is the next party?
Well, that's what you're there for, to
see?
go from party to party.
I removed the microphone.
I know, it was
It's very odd.
slightly hectoring tone, a bit headmistressy, really, wasn't it?
Well, anyway, let's see what Stephanie Takyi makes of it all, because she's there.
Stephanie!
Don't you know? Nice to see you, darling. I mean, this is all very strange.
It is, Stephen and Anne. Well, Fergie's been on a warpath this week here in Cannes. I caught up with her earlier this week, and she's taken her role of being a global citizen Gen Z ambassador really seriously. So she got appointed this role earlier this year. And I think what she's been doing, she's been using all of her appearances to kind of talk about the generational guilt she feels about how her generation have destroyed the planet. Amphar now is one of the biggest events that takes place in Cannes. It's all a fundraiser for HIV and AIDS. And the Duchess got on stage after a portrait of the late Queen had been sold for over £400,000. She was trying to deliver a speech, but as you can imagine, Stephen, and it's a room full of almost 400 people, A-listers. You're not going to get everyone being quiet at the same time. And unfortunately for Fergie, I don't think she read the room well, because most people, if I'm honest, were just there to see Cher. But during the night, they raised £16 billion. So the money was raised. But it's just that I felt like it was the wrong time for Fergie to deliver such a speech.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, I mean, when you look at her, and she did look fabulous, you have to remember that here is a woman who had breast cancer less than a year ago and now is fighting also skin cancer. So she's really had a rotten year health-wise and still looks that fabulous and has got that much oomph and energy in her. You have to admire, don't you?
I totally admire Fergie. You know, when I did my interview with her this week, she's clearly still have a zeal for life. And I think, you know, having battled both these diagnoses of cancer, she's seen that actually, you know what, I'm actually going to do some good with my time on this planet. And I think the problem is when you deliver these kind of speeches on climate and, you know, Gen Z, people just find it that you're kind of preachy, you know, especially in front of a celebrity audience in Cannes. You know, all people do, as she rightly said, all people were concerned is about partying. Once they've, you know, done the red carpet and they've taken their pictures and they've given me quotes about trying to doing good, they're inside the party and it kind of falls on deaf ears afterwards.
Does it make any difference when I mean, the one thing that gets me about this, I know she's not the only one doing it, of course, but, you know, she's flown into Cannes to talk about, you know, and she's preaching about climate change. It's a bit hypocritical.
Well, Stephen, that's the thing. I think most of these celebrities and royals know that anything they do will be open as up for criticism. But the problem is, well, the good thing for them is it gets people talking. Because what are we doing now? We're talking about Fergie, talking about climate change and how she feels. So these people know that they will get the headlines when they're out in Cannes. And you know what? You are in a room full of A-listers. So if you do want to kind of make something that's going to go worldwide, why not do it in Cannes? But again, you are going to be receiving that criticism for flying into one of the most luxurious places in the world.
Well, that's right. And it's not just parties. There are also, obviously, premieres of movies. And Dame Helen Mirren was on the red carpet last night in Cannes. Did you see her? She's made her pictures all over the papers that have been able to print it fast enough. And she looks unbelievable.
Well, Dame Helen Mirren, she's quite a regular at Cannes and she comes here every single year. She does a lot of work with L'Oreal. So when she comes here, she tends to do a lot of workshops with them, talking about, you know, beauty, aging. But of course, she is a legend of the cinema. And that's the good thing about Cannes. I think people like coming here to celebrate film, watch new films. Like there's over like 22 films now, which is in the competition. So for each film, they've literally brought the stars out to watch it at the Crozet. So Cannes is definitely the place where we can celebrate some of our greats, including Helen Mirren.
And afterwards, there's always party on somebody's yacht, isn't there?
Okay, there have been a lot of yacht parties and a lot of champagne. I think that's what Cannes is for. I think it just becomes this dream world of parties and excess, and lots of excess of parties and stuff like that. And, you know, for me, I'm ready to come home now. I've had a bit too much partying.
You partied out, Steph. That's a first.
Yeah.
I really am.